Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with SUI. We have a market structure shift here going so far on the smaller time frames. On the daily time frame, also breaking free from our descending trend. So there's a lot of positivity here. Just keep in mind Bitcoin kind of on a razor's edge here at 98,000. We've seen potential breakouts in the past here as well with SUI that have been unsuccessful. So just know that we need to look at everything here first before we make a decision. And at this point, still a little early, but Bitcoin does look like it really wants to run towards its liquidation range at 99,000. Just kind of throw it out here to preface so you're familiar. Bitcoin is looking pretty strong. A lot of bullish convergences here. We can see 99,000 as well as potential area of interest there. Okay, so keep in mind shorting against SUI right now is probably a bad idea. Bitcoin, different story altogether. We've seen about 5 out of 5 fake outs, 100% so far for this month for Bitcoin. So hard to trust this little breakout here, but it is more of a macro breakout versus a smaller time frame breakout, and it could carry more weight. So I'm still leaning towards a short on Bitcoin, but I'm going to avoid shorting SUI. As you know, probably from now, or by now rather, that if you've watched my channel for any stretch of time, you'll know I don't really short this coin. So that's just me personally. I've had limited success shorting this coin, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's just such a highly volatile coin once it finds its bottom. And at this point, we are still effectively range bound too, just larger ranges for this coin. So what we want to look at first is liquidation. On the left-hand side, we can see 350. Here, let's make it a little easier to kind of see these heavy pockets. We can see a decent amount of local liquidation occurred at 345, but 350 upwards of 380, 390, even $4. We got a lot of local liquidation there, okay? And when I say by local, it just means in the last 7 days, these are areas of liquidation for people that are trying to short this coin. Okay, so just know that exists. Same thing as well with the macro. 4 to 450 is a pretty heavy concentration. I'm not proposing we're going to see that right away. We got to break through a key level resistance. Bitcoin, I feel, still needs to close above 100,000 to have that extra sustainability. But for right now, that's kind of where we're at. We can see a shift in momentum here too as well. In other words, we have officially broken bullish in the liquidation standpoint. In other words, we have more people taking longs than shorts. Okay, so that's generally a good sign, especially when there's liquidation on the upside. Okay, so those are generally favorable signs. Same thing here as well. When we take a look, we can see 350 to 370 is that area of open interest above the price action. Those are some rough estimate for resistance ranges, but we have a lot of support at 325 to 330. A lot of people are adding to their position at that lower level. So sustainability at that price point if the price ends up pulling back. Same thing here as well on the daily. Let's go ahead and talk about this break of structure. Again, it's happening on the smaller time frames, but for right now, we're above the 20-day SMA for the moment. Okay, that's kind of right there at about that 333 mark. When we look at the RSIs, we haven't fully broken bullish yet, so we're not totally out of the woods yet, but we got money flow index is quite high, stochastic swinging up for the second time, MACD converging. These are generally all favorable signs you want to try to take longs into, and you don't want to short against. Okay, same thing with the 4-hour time frame. There's that market structure shift here. We can see where we had this local high, broke free from that. So hypothetically, the price comes back down, we get lucky. We could see 335 is a good entry for a long. Okay, usually the local high can work as a new low moving forward. And if we kind of zoom out a little here, we can see what the point of control is at 328-ish, 328 to 315. So again, reinforcing a lot of support below the price action because we've been able to break through and punch through that resistance. Okay, so good stuff there. We are above 50 on the RSI, stochastic swinging up, money flow index above the RSI. These are all signs I'd like to look for when I consider long positions. Hourly time frame as well. If we double check this here, we can see once again we're above all moving averages here. We have a ton of structure breaking there, as well as the Ichimoku cloud confirming 100% green light, good to go on a potential long position here. And I say potential because me personally, I'd much rather wait for the price to pull back to 335 and take a long from there. I don't necessarily think that'll happen, but we got a fair value gap established there, so it would be perfect to kind of consider an alert or consider an entry there. So I set an alert at 337. We'll see if I get if that triggers, and if so, I may consider a long. But between now and then, I do expect SUI to continue to break out. And I'm using bunny ears when I say break out because of the fact that it all hinges on Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin discontinues this ascending trend and rejects at 98,000, or maybe just say 99,000 with that liquidity sweep, then there's a solid chance we'll see SUI pull back within reason. But as far as the larger time frames here, if we take a look at the daily time frame, we can recognize this here, that we are still within a range, okay? So let's just make sure that we understand we will see some resistance at about 365 to 360, 370 is a rough estimate, but there's a ton of liquidation up in that range, and there's a decent chance that the price may continue to. So either way you look at it, the majority of the market is range bound in a lot of ways. It's just a larger range for this coin. So just keep in mind 365 roughly would be a good consideration for a take profit target, or I'm not proposing you short that level, but it may be a good consideration for a short considering the simple fact that we have yet to close above that level in the last 15 trading days. So ever since February 3rd, we've been below 365 as a rough estimate, okay? Cool. All right, I'll post a playout chart on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Make sure you check out Bitunix too, folks. This little deposit bonus is available for the next 3 weeks until March 14th. Take advantage of that. That's mainly referring to my community, but if you're not part of our community, feel free to register. It's all there for you. I hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll look forward to working with you in the future. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you soon.